Today is gonna be kind of like a draw my life and kind of me telling my story about my running career so far. Now, back when I hit 100 subscribers, I actually sat down and asked you guys, what do you want for 100 subs? And someone put in the comment section, if I can find it, I'll throw it up on screen. But someone put in the comment section kind of like a draw my life, but running edition. So kind of where I draw out my running career so far. Now, I can't draw at all, so I'm not going to draw anything, but I am going to sit down and talk with you guys, throw some pictures and stuff up on screen and kind of walk through my running career so far. Now, my running career started out in 7th grade. I think the reason I honestly started is because my brother did it in 7th and 8th grade, and I really wanted to see if I could beat his times. And at the time, I was big into soccer, so I kind of used it as kind of conditioning for my soccer career. But started in 7th grade. On the team, I'm not sure if I was top 5 on the team in 7th grade. So in 7th and 8th grade, you run the 2-mile, a 2-mile race. And I think I was running around 14 minutes my 7th grade year, which is kind of funny to think about now. But that was pretty much it for my 7th grade year. But I did come back for 8th grade for some reason. I'm not really sure why, once again, because I wasn't really good. But I came back my 8th grade year, and I probably ran 13:10 at the best. That was probably my best 2-mile in middle school. But I started to like it a little bit more in 8th grade because I was starting to, I think at the time I had a friend in my class and me and him were battling back and forth for like 3rd and 2nd on the team. So I was having a little bit more fun with it. So then I transferred into high school my freshman year, and my whole goal freshman year was to make the varsity soccer team, which I did end up doing my freshman year. I made the varsity soccer team and actually started on the soccer team as a right wing. And if you guys couldn't tell by now, my whole life kind of revolved around soccer at this point, at this stage in my life. But I still did cross country. I was a dual sport athlete that fall season, and I did cross country and soccer. But we have to declare for a primary sport at my school. So basically, if there's any conflicts as far as practices, or let's say I have a soccer game and a meet at the same day, you pick a primary sport and a secondary sport, and you always go to the primary sport when there is a conflict. Now, my freshman year, soccer was my primary. I didn't go to any practices, and my first race ever, I broke 20 minutes in the 5K. In high school, you start running the 5K, and I ran, I think, 19:58, and I was ecstatic. It was a goal of mine to break 20 minutes in the 5K for a while, and I finally did that my freshman year. And that's about all I did my freshman year. I didn't really run very fast. I don't think I was top 5 on the team my freshman year. But then sophomore year came around. I decided to choose soccer as my primary once again. But this is when I kind of got the first taste of what success felt like in running. I went to practices every once in a while, but definitely wasn't going consistently. I wasn't running in the off season. And then I still did track. I forgot to throw that in there, but my freshman year of track, I probably ran, I think, 5:15 for the 1600, and then probably around 11:30 for the 3200. That's all I did my freshman year. But then sophomore year came around, and cross country, I actually was pretty decent. I ran 17:10 my last race of my sophomore season, and that got me on the top 10 board for my school as far as fastest people that have ever ran a 5K and cross. 17:10 got me 10th place at my school. So that was the first time I kind of got a little bit of success in the sport. And then I was still playing soccer at the time, and soccer was probably my best year, sophomore year. I was really good in both sports. I kind of managed it pretty well. But as far as sophomore year went, both those soccer and cross country were both really strong seasons for me. But then we went into track. Sophomore year was probably the first time I broke 5 minutes. I think I did run 14:58, and I believe I have a picture of that, so I'll throw that up. And it was the first time I broke 11 minutes in the 3200 as well. So I ran 10:49, I believe, in the 3200 my sophomore year. So pretty good. Obviously not great, but it was goals that I had that I did end up breaking, which was awesome. I loved the feeling of that. So I kind of started to enjoy running a little bit more my junior or my sophomore year. So when junior year came around, I decided that I was going to pick cross country as my primary and have soccer as my secondary. And I started going to every single cross country practice as well as every single soccer practice. And I believe this kind of beat me down a lot because from sophomore year running 17:10 to my junior year, I only ran 17 flat. I didn't qualify out of districts to regionals. I came in like 30th in my district. And it was all around a pretty disappointing year for me just because in both soccer and cross country, I was basically average. I wasn't really, flourishing in either of those sports. But then I decided after my junior season I had to pick one or the other if I wanted to be great at either of them. And I decided that I was going to pick cross country. It was where my heart was at the time, and it's where my heart still is to this day. I had played soccer ever since I was probably 7 years old, I would say, all the way up until my junior year. I played select soccer. I traveled around. I was on great teams. But I decided that I was going to pick cross country. And going into that winter, I knew if I was going to put all my eggs into one basket, I had to work for it. I wasn't just going to put all my eggs into this running thing and then just kind of be average at it. So I started training in the off season, which I had never done before. And then track came around and I ran 4:35 in the mile. It was a 20-second PR. And then I ran 9:59 or 9:58, one of the two, in the 3200, so it was almost a minute drop in the 3200. And I also ran 205 in the 800, which was pretty good for me because I don't really have any speed in my legs. Yeah, I've always been kind of a longer distance guy, so 205 for me was really good at that time. But yeah, I started to see, if you put in the miles, you get results. So the summer going into my senior year, I ran a lot of mileage. I peaked at around 70 miles a week. I was running, actually there is a video up on my YouTube channel of me in the summer running 70 miles a week. I think it's called What It's Like to Run 70 Miles a Week, Summer Cross Country Training or something like that. But I was peaking at like 70 miles a week, probably averaging around 65 miles. And a couple weeks before high school started, my senior year of high school started, I ran a 5K, a local 5K, and ran 16:22, which was amazing for me. It's like a 40-second, almost 40-second PR. So to run that, I knew it was going to be a great season. I started to win races right at the start of cross country and start running PRs. My first race, I ran 16:38, which is 2 seconds off my school record. So to go from 10th on the leaderboard all the way to second, almost breaking the school record in my first race, and it was a long course. It was like 3.18, which I realized after the race when my coach told me. So started to see a lot of success there. I PR'd senior year running 15:59 in the 5K on cross, which was amazing. Broke the school record almost every single race I ran, the previous school record. I think I broke my own school record 4 times, finally capping out at 15:59. A lot of other things happened. Junior year's district, I came in 35th, I believe, and didn't qualify for regionals. I think top 24 or something like that, get out, something around that number. Coming into my district's race, I knew I had a chance to, do something. I went out and just felt really good that day. Ended up taking the lead about probably a half a mile into the race and held the lead the whole time and pretty much dominated the race. Ran 16:02 and won my district, which was a great feeling going from not qualifying out of districts my junior year to winning my senior year. So that was great. I was the first person in school history to ever do that at the Division I level. Then regionals came around. I came in 14th at regionals and top 18, I believe, get out to state. So I made the state meet. I ran 16:14, I think, at the regional meet to get me out. It was a muddy course, and I got kind of like a side stitch towards the end of the race. So 16:14 was a great race for me that day, as well as, qualifying for Division I state in Ohio. I was the first person to ever do that in school history as well, qualify for the Division I state meet in cross country, which was amazing. And then at state, I came in 32nd, which was a really good race for me. Again, a terrible course. It was super muddy and wet out. But everyone deals with those conditions. I'm not complaining about the conditions at all, but the time was really slow. I ran like 16:40 something. And you're seeing guys that have ran, sub 15 run like 15:40s in this race. But all around a great race for me. I came through the mile at like 70th something, and then came back to run to come like 32nd at the 2 mile, and kind of stayed there towards the end of the race. But a great race for me, and this is when I kind of started to get looks from colleges. I had visited a couple D2 colleges, but the only Division I college to reach out to me was the University of Akron. I went up there and visited, fell in love with the place, and I decided that I was going to commit to the University of Akron, and that is where we are now. It is now in the winter block of my training. I'm running some indoor races, but now I'm really focusing on outdoor track. I really want to make the state meet in that. I have the goals of running sub 920 in the 3200 and sub 420 in the mile. Those are just goals. Not sure if I'll hit them, but that's what I'm shooting for. And then after that, get a good summer block of training in, and then transition into college running. And I will be recording all of my college stuff on this YouTube channel as well. I'm not planning on quitting YouTube or stopping making these videos anytime soon, but that is kind of what my running story is like. I hope this gives you a better picture of me and kind of the journey I've been on to get here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to subscribe. And if you're new here, I do a ton of running content as far as like training, races, sit down talks like this, everything running on this YouTube channel. So if you guys are into running content, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.